Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. First of all, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining the session on the weekday. So today we are going to discuss about some what hot topic in UiPath. So that is called as a UiPath Communications Mining. So before jumping to the communication mining, let me introduce myself. So as of my name is Pradeep Chinala. So I got recognized as a UiPath MVP for 2023 and 2024, and I am the certified solution architect in UiPath. And I have attended multiple hackathon, and I got a work hackathon finalist and AI based use case award winner for 2023. And active community member from Hyderabad and lead kind of initiator for community events in Hyderabad. Yeah, you can go ahead, Sai Kiran.
Yeah, thanks, Pradeep. Hi, everyone. Good evening. So, speaking about myself, I'm Kiran, having over 6+ years of experience with that industry. And presently, I'm just working as a senior software engineer with one of the MNC in Hyderabad at Signity. And I'm recognized as UiPath MP for 2024, and also I'm certified advanced UiPath developer, as well as recently I've just even completed my test automation engineer certification. And much speaking about myself, I'm also a community speaker, mentor, and a content creator. Yeah, that's a small intro about myself. Thank you.
That's great, Sai Kiran. So here is the slide for Niklesh. Niklesh, can you please introduce you about yourself? Then we can
Yeah.
start the session.
Yes. So myself, Nikhilesh Satyavarpu, I'm working as an associate manager at one of the MNC company in Hyderabad. I'm the official UiPath chapter lead for Hyderabad, and I recognize as 2 times as LinkedIn top voice for process automation and process design. And I'm an active participant of UiPath community from last 5 years and leading as an good thing is like thank you so much for your support. So Hyderabad is leading as one of the top chapter in the world, around 5,000 members. So thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Niklesh. So let me go into the topic now. So before going to the communication mining, just I want to know who all are worked on communication mining in the part of certifications. Anyone having any idea about communication mining? Basically, what it will do. So any idea about it, or is it very new to everyone? They don't have chart access. Yeah. Let me start with the session. So basically, when you are working for the UiPath platform, so we should know which all are the layers are available in UiPath platform, right? So we have three layers. One is the discover, automate, and operate. Okay. So in this, where we can see the communication mining. So in the discover phase, we can see the communication mining. Most of us very much familiar with the automation layer here. So automation layer is a part of doing the development, like using Studio X, are using apps, are interacting with the orchestrator services, intelligent document processing, kind of for doing the documentation, document understanding. So these all are the things will come under the automate layer. But when we come into the discover, like before doing the development, what we are going to do for our processes. So in this layer, we can see the communication mining. Along with the communication mining, we can see a couple of other products also. Just I'm going to give one short word for remaining products. Then we can go with the communication mining. So in the discover phase itself, like before starting the development, so we have process mining and task mining and idea capture and management. So process mining is a kind of thing when you are doing the automation, like when you are having any applications in your machine. So if you want to do analyze of that particular applications, and if you want to figure it out, which all are the use cases, we can do it using automation. So it can able to figure it out. So that's called as a process mining. When you coming to the task mining, so it is a kind of product where you can get the documents, like if you want to generate the PDD, so it will capture all the details which are the things you are going to do the development in the automate layer. So it can provide the same details in the form of XAML files or in the form of Word document. So that's called as a task mining. And one more thing is communication mining. So communication mining is a part where we are going today. So when you are going with the communication mining, so we know how the things are going on in our organization. When you are working, someone may text you or someone may send message. So our entire in our 8 hours of working, we may continuously texting with someone, or we may get some kind of mails, right? So here what we are going to do, so we may uh, have to respond in a limited time, right? So here in this phase we are coming with the communication mining to respond that particular real-time messages. So that's the use of communication mining. It's the phase of, it is the in the layer of discover phase. So let me go to the next slide. Yeah. So before going to the communication mining, so I need to explain something about NLP, that is natural language processing, because our communication mining is built based on the NLP. So that's the reason, just before going to the communication, we should know about the background of NLP and how this NLP will work in the real time. So what kind of features we may get it if you are using the NLP. So here, if when you are coming with the NLP, we have different kinds of models are available in our UiPath. So some of the models are text classification. So here you can able to see. So this is one of the model, and named entity recognition, NER, and sentiment analysis. So these are the models are available, which these models we have built based on the NLP, natural language processing. So what's the use of these models? When you are going with the text classification, this text classification do like kind of if you are getting any unstructured data, it will uh, convert into the predefined categories or classes. Like if you are getting some kind of free text, so it will identify this data is from which category. So it can able to do that particular categorization. And if you are getting some kind of data, so it can able to identify if you are getting some data related to any of the sports or any of the politics or any entertainment, so it can able to categorize it. So okay, this text is related to the sports, okay, this text is related to the politics, this text is related to the entertainment. So it can able to do the classification. So that's the way the text classification model will work. One more thing is named entity recognition. For the named entity recognition, one of the example is if you are going to apply the sick leave. Okay, so when you are going to apply the sick leave, we have couple of entities in that particular sick leave mail. You have to send a mail to your manager, right? When you are sending a mail, you have couple of entities you have to include in your mail. Like when you are going to take the leave, why you are going to take the leave, and what is your health condition now. So these all are the entities we need to apply in our mail, right? Just when I'm going to send a mail, I'll say that, hi, I am not going to office today because I am getting, I have fever. So that's the reason today is, this is the date I am not going to come to the office. So here we can able to see the entities, right? Each person will send a mail in the different format, but the entities will be the same. So everyone wants the leave, everyone wants the leave on specific day, and this is the reason to taking the leave, right? So this is the way named entity recognition will work. What it will do, it will extract that particular entities from the free text. And next model is sentiment analysis. The sentiment analysis is, it's mostly dependent on the feedbacks. So if you are checking any of the hotel feedback or any of the feedback, you can see that comment section. So some of the comments are like positive comment, some of the comments are like a negative for that particular hotel. This is a kind of feelings that is based on that hotel, right? So we can see the positive comments, we can see the negative comments, we can see a couple of neutral comments. So these all are the things will come under the sentiment analysis. So these three models will come under the natural language processing. We are going to use it in the communication mining to grab the clusters from the free text. So this is what we are going to do it further. So, so let me go to the next slide. So here is one of the example for NLP. So you can see this is a mail. This is a sample mail we got it. So when you are getting this sample mail, we can see a couple of identifications here. So this is a subject. In the subject, we can able to figure it out the number. So that is identified as a account number. And here address line is identified and the zip code is identified, right? So whichever the free text we got it from the free text, we can able to identify the entities. So using the NLP, we can do that. Okay. So these all are the clusters, I can say. Clusters we can discuss in the next slides when I am opening the overview of communication mining. We can able to see the clusters and how the clusters will work and what's the combination of clusters are available in the communication mining. We can cover that. So here you can able to see the sentiment is tone frustrated because it can able to read the data and it can able to understand the data. And when it is able to understand the data, it can able to apply the function of sentiment analysis. This is a sentiment analysis it can able to apply, and it can able to give the sentiment as a frustrated because it is a one kind of feeling. So that's the reason NLP is working on the communication mining. Like we are using the NLP to build the communication mining to get the entities. Yeah. So using NLP, what we can do? So here we can do a couple of things. We can do the analytics and or we can do the drive action. Like whichever the things we'll get it, we'll do some kind of we can perform some kind of action for that particular data, whichever the data we got it. So we know every time free text will not be in the structured format. So it may be in the structured format or it may be in the unstructured format. But when you are going with the analytics, like when you are coming the data in the format of unstructured data, we can do the analytics, right? The how the categorization and the report and the trends we can do that for it. And the drive action is like alert the business owners, like if you are getting any free text mail saying some kind of alert, so we can send a reply back mail to that and we can inform this is what going on, right? And trigger automations. So based on a couple of mails or it's not only with it's not only the mail. So any free text, we can get the data from mails or we can get the data from ServiceNow. We can get the data from any CRM applications. So any source data. So based on that data, if you want to trigger the automations, we can do the trigger also. So this is the way most of the automations are working using the NLP. Yeah. But NLP came around in the year of 2010s itself, but it's not working. It's not working as we expected now. Here is the reason for it. So we got NLP in the 2010 itself, but there is no much growth because the testing NLP is algorithms is based on the Google and social media related stuff. So that's the reason it's not using that much nowadays. But after communication mining, we can do that. So here I can give one of the example. So how we are working with the communication mining and our robotic process automation and using our document understanding product. So here we can see one of the connections. Connections is a kind of any of the source data. So we may get a source data in the form of Excel, or we may get the data in the form of CSV, or we can do the integration with any of the applications, or we can get the data from MS Exchange or SFDC. Okay. So this is called as a source data. So whichever the data we got it, so what we are going to do, we are applying the NLP. So we have seen it couple of models earlier, right? So using that models, what we are going to do, we are understanding the model, understanding that particular data source. We got it from the integrations or any source data. We are reading it and we are extracting that particular data and we are converting that data. Like we are understanding that data and we are making it we are sending the data to the our robotic process automation here. So when you see here, holistic analysis and insight drive business decision. So if you want to take any business decision based on that, we can do that. Or if you want to do any if you want to apply any document understanding on it, so we can apply the document understanding. And if you want to labeling, like some of the cases, if you are understanding the data, but it's not much confidence. If the confidence is level, if the confidence level is low, then what we have to do? We have to do the training or we have to do the labeling for it. And this is a kind of business automation platform. So here what we are going to do. So whichever the data we got it, we are taking the action in the real time. Real-time action means whichever the data we have extracted, we are applying the data into any of the applications, or sending auto reply mail back to that particular mail wherever we get it, or updating the same data in the CRM or ERP application. Different kind of possibilities we can do it, or we can do some kind of document processing also for it. So how this help for the UiPath customers, we can able to see. So this is a kind of intelligence. Using the intelligence, we can able to read the data and enhance the customer and client experience, because whenever you get some kind of mails or some kind of free text data, we are not going to wait till that particular person going to give the reply. We are going with our automations itself. And here we can do some kind of unleashes new automations regarding that. So this is one of the example for communication mining. So here is the free text we can able to see. Sorry. Here is the free text we can able to see, and whichever here is the data we got extracted from the particular. Here is the data we got extracted from that particular free text. So this is the free text. You can see that. Hi Steve, our clients wishes to change their name to John Roberts. He is also moved into a new home. The new address is something, right? So here it can able to read the data. So this is the New York City and the street and the first name and the last name. And here is the policy number and here is the zip code. So again, this is a kind of clusters I can say. In the clusters, this is the policies. This mail is come under the policy, and in this mail the subcategory is amendment. Then here inside that this mail is regarding the address change, right? So this is the particular entity for it, and this is one more. This is a part of a name change. This is the one more cluster that is called as a name change based on the mail. So here you can see in the name change we can able to read the policy number and first name and the last name. So this is how communication mining will work. And this is one more example regarding the communication mining itself. I will explain everything. Yeah. So this is about the communication mining. Before going deep into the communication, let me open one of the architecture for communication mining. So before going the overview of communication mining, we should know about the background of communication mining and how the architecture is working. Just give me 1 minute. I'll reshare my screen. Just 1 minute. Let me open that particular architecture of communication mining. Yeah. Let me reshare my screen. Yeah, you can able to see the architecture of communication mining, right? Can anyone
Yes,
please confirm?
yes,
Yeah.
we are able to see.
So as of now, everyone is clear with the basics of communication mining and what we are going to achieve with the communication mining, right? So now Sai Kiran can take over the architecture and then he can explain the entire overview of architecture. Then we can go with the UI interaction with the communication mining. Yes, please, Sai Kiran.
Yeah, fine. So let me just talk something that was related to the architecture, what we have here in the communication mining. So when we are just trying to understand about communication mining architecture, it seems to be like it's one of the UiPath automation cloud offerings and all. So let's try to simply break down what all this communication mining architecture will talk about. So when we are just talking about communication mining, so imagine you have tons of mails, messages, and other types of communications happening in your business, right? Which happens in our particular real time in every organization. So communication mining is something like a super smart assistant that reads through all the messages and figures out what's important. It can pick out some specific information that your business cares about. So when we are just talking about lots of communications that's been happening in organizations, so out of this particular messages or communications, there might be some action which needs to be taken care of, right? So when somebody sends a mail stating that I just want to update some address, or else I just want to update some name, first name, or else I just want to do some removal part of the insurance. So all these things caters to some sort of action when we try to remove the communication. Right? So communication helps us in just trying to do some action based on the messages what we actually have. So when we are talking about available deployment models here, so we have two types of models. One is the multi-tenant SaaS and the single tenant SaaS. So let's talk about the multi-tenant SaaS here. So when we're talking about multi-tenant SaaS, so think of this as an apartment building. So many different business can use the same setup, like just like many people living in their apartment in the same. So when we are talking about single tenant SaaS, this is like having your own house. It's a setup just for one business, not shared with others. It's like a individual house you just want to go. So that is what happens in terms of deployment models. It's a multi-tenant SaaS and a single tenant SaaS. So when we are talking about the components and flow, so we can say that the sections list out about parts and processes in scale. So which we are talking about integrations, it can connect directly to other popular business tools like Exchange, Salesforce. We can just interact with email systems and all these things. So how we can just do this with something using the integration services. And we have proprietary transfer-based language models. They use special AI models designed to understand the language the way humans do, helping to make sense of all the information in the communications, right? So which we are talking about the NLP, what we are basically. And we have something called unsupervised and active learning. The system can learn on its own by spotting patterns and can also improve over the time with some guidance to do better at its job. So like how we try to excel in our particular jobs based on our experience and work. So it is also been integrated with something called as unsupervised or active learning. So where it will try to identify the patterns and come out with some sort of action items which we can do. And when we're talking about real-time insights and model management, it gives updates and insights as it works and can be adjusted and improved over time. So if our particular model is not giving some accurate results, so we just need to make sure that we are having some model adjustments for our particular ML skills and all, where we can get our desired outcome. Right. And also, if we can just see here, we have something. Okay. So when we are just talking about something related to UiPath Automation Cloud, so it is something an environment where communication mining operates. It includes Orchestrator, document understanding, AI trust layer, SEO open AI services. You can just see under the automation cloud, these were the 4 or 5 things we can just add. So Orchestrator, this could be the manager overseeing the and coordinating everything where we have. And document understanding, a service that probably helps the system makes sense of documents and all, where we can extract the data. And the AI trust layer is probably used to make sure AI is used responsibly and can be trusted, right? And we also have here Azure OpenAI services, indicates that they might be using AI services provided by Azure, which is cloud platform by Microsoft, possibly to help understand and generate language. So it's when we're talking about NLP here, we can just try to utilize many open source things, like it can be ChatGPT, or else like we can have Azure OpenAI to understand or leverage something related to generating language. Right? So that is what we can just see here in terms of automation cloud. And within the communication mining, we have major services. When we are talking about data integration service, which will help us in bringing in data from various sources, right? So, what are the different sources? As we are talking earlier, we have data from MS Exchange or MS Teams, or as various communications like ServiceNow, or as like we can just get the data from Salesforce and all these things. So that is what happens with the data integration services, ingestion services. And we have something called data processing service, where cleaning and organizing the data. So in the mail, you might have lots of data, but you required only some sort of data to do some action. Right? So that happens in the data processing service. And we have something called embedding service, turning the data into format that AI can understand and learn from. So basically, we humans can understand something if we are trying to talk in English or else in any language, right? So we will try to take some essence of what actually based on our intellectual brain. And here also we need to understand that we can send some data where the AI needs to be understandable. So that is what we try to do in the embedding service. And ML training and the prediction services. After sending the data, nothing but we are trying to teach the AI to make predictions or decisions based on the data, right? So once we have the data, we need to train the particular data. So that particular training can be done in terms of ML training services or model validation and the prediction services. So altogether, where we'll try to train or teach AI to make sure that you are trying to derive some predictions or decisions based on the data, right? So once all these decisions, or else like you are trying to do some predictions and all, you can see on the right side of the diagram, it shows how the data flows from customer data sources through the API systems. And then out of various users, like, so this particular data that's been done by this communication mining, which will derive us in terms of predictions or as like decision-based data, which will be sent out or utilized by various users like business analysts, RPA developers, or others who might use information to make decisions or build automated processes. So we know what is the action needs to be done. So that action should be converted into something called as automated processing. So that automation process is something where we are trying to carry out once we are trying to do something in the UiPath communication mining, right? So we can just summarize something like, so think of it as a very advanced system that helps business make sense of all the communication happening inside the organization, turning a flood of words and numbers into clear actionable items or clear actionable information, right? So this is what at a very high level the architecture happens, where your particular automation cloud services are utilized, communication mining inbuilt framework will be done, and also after the communication happens, like what end users are trying to just utilize. Okay. Fine. Pradeep, I think you can
Yeah.
just continue.
Yeah, thank you, Sai Kiran. Let me stop my share and let me open my other PPT so that we can continue with the communication mining. So let me reshare my screen. Yeah, you can able to see my screen, right?
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So here is the way of communication mining is going to work. So it will be in the way of three stages. The first stage is getting the source data. Then once we get the source data, what we are to do, the getting the source data is a kind of injecting the data sources or some kind of data in the form of integrations or in the form of Excels or CSV to the communication mining. The next one is mining the data, like whichever the data we got it, we have to do the mining of that particular data. So that's what we are doing it in the phase of second. So using the AI and NLP related stuff, then we have to do the mining for that particular data. In that mining, we have couple of steps like how to connect the data, then how to discover the data, and how to train that data. Then what kind of validations we have to apply for that data we have to see. And then whichever the data we have done the mining, so we can use that data into the target applications using APIs, or directly we can enter the data into the ERP applications using our robotic process automation, or we can pass the data to the RPA, like any queues or something, or we can directly send the data to the CRM applications or MIS applications. So this is the high level of communication mining will work. So let me open the communication mining platform so that you will get better idea. So this is a communication mining platform. So Kiran, can you please confirm? Is my screen is visible?
Still PPT is.
Okay, let me reshare it again. Okay, is it
Yes.
visible now?
Yes. Yes.
Great. So this is an environment of communication mining. We can use it from the cloud platform itself. So when you open the communication mining, this is the communication mining link. So when you opened it, these are the data sources. I have it. So when you want to train your model, or when you want to use your model, we have to use the data sets, right? So this is how what's the data sets I have it. So here, if you want to create any of the data set, like let me you create any of the source. So the source is where we'll get the data. So first you may get some kind of doubt. So we have chart GPT and it's also doing the same. And we have communication mining. It's also doing the same of kind of reading the data. But what's the difference between these two? So the difference between these two is ChatGPT is built based on the supervised learning, and our communication mining is built based on the unsupervised learning. To build the ChatGPT, we need to get more historical data. So based on that historical data itself, it will give some kind of suggestions. But when you are going with the communication mining, so it's not purely dependent on the historical data. We can give some kind of assumptions also for it. So that's the way our communication mining will work. Yeah. And when you are going to use the chat GPT, it's not much privacy. So if you are going to upload your client data or any banking information data, there is no closed platform to use the data for the labeling purpose. But in our communication mining, we can do like we can create one of the platform and we can do some kind of data sets for it, and we can do the labeling as a private cloud. Then we can use that particular data for the future purpose. So the in the communication mining, first thing what we have to do when you are going to create any model or when you want to use any of the model, first we should upload the data sets. So here is the when you are coming to the data sets, we have two differentiates here. One is data set and one is a source, right? The source is like from where we are getting the data. that is called as a source, and the data set is like which data source we are connecting, that is a data set. Okay, so in communication mining we can connect the source in the form of two ways. So the first source is we can connect the data source using any of the files. The file may be the CSV, the file may be the Excel. So we can use the data set in that particular file format. Or one more thing is if you want to use any of the API, sorry, let me, if you want to use any of the integrations, so you can integrate your applicate directly, you can integrate your data source like source to that particular applications, and you can get the data from it. So these are the two things we can get the source. So let me generate any one of the uh, source here. Just I am making as a sample. So if you are having any storage buckets are available in your licensing, so you can use that bucket name. That bucket will contains the data sets also. Just I am creating. So here is the sample, whichever sample I have created, it came in under the data sources. So in the sources itself, if you want to do the integration, see, so here we can do the integration. So if you want to do the integration for any of the application, see, this is the sandbox I have created. Then I am giving the title as a sample. Then see, here is the connection details to get the details from that particular application. So if you want to read the data from the Outlook, or if you want to read the data from Salesforce, like if you are read the data from the ServiceNow. So we know, right, in the ServiceNow, we may get multiple tickets. Whenever you get the ticket, what we have to do, we need to read the ticket description, and based on the ticket description, we have to do some kind of classification for that particular tickets. Is it IT ticket, or is a HR ticket, or is it related to the software ticket, hardware ticket? Then we need to do the classification. Then we need to give some kind of resolution to that, right? So that's the entire part. We can do it using our communication mining. So if you want to connect with the service now, so we have to provide some kind of integration details. So based on that integration details, that particular data, whichever the data is available in service now, that data we can able to read it, and we can perform the actions based on the tickets. So that's called as a source. And a new data set. Here we can create the data set. Sorry, as of now what we have done it, we have created the source, right? So whichever the source we have created, for that particular source we can able to create the data set also. So just I'm again giving the sample. So this is called as a taxonomy. So whenever you are going to create a data set for the communication mining, we have to provide the taxonomy. So if you have any pre-built taxonomy, you can give it, or you can skip it. You can see it in the validation. So by default, it will generate one of the taxonomy. So I'll explain in the next screen. So how the taxonomy will work, and which are the features we have it in the taxonomy, and the data set language and pre-trained labels if you want to give any labels, or if you want to give any entities. So this is a way we can create the data set also. So now what we have done. So now what we have done, so we have created the source and we have created the data set. But here when you see in the uh, in the labels, I could not able to see anything here. The label model rating is nothing. Why it's nothing means we have not uploaded any data, or we have not integrated any data from any of the source model, right? So that's the reason here it is showing nothing. So let me open my previous project. So where you can see some kind of data so that you can able to identify. So let me open any one of the project. I opened one of the project. The project name is called as a generated small. So, So here you can able to see. So whichever the model, whichever the data source I have added here, the source having some kind of model rating here, the model rating is 79. So how you can get this model rating for whichever the data you have uploaded in the data set as a communication mining. So let me tell you. Yeah. So what will happen whenever you upload the data as a data set to the communication mining means that particular data set having the data source, and that particular data source is having the each data fields, each data items, right? So here you can able to see different kinds of items. So this is one mail and this is the one mail. So these all are the mails we have uploaded into the communication mining as a data source. So based on this model, based on these particular mails, by default, communication mining is created 30 clusters. Clusters is a kind of thing how we can differentiate these particular mails. So by default, it can create 30 clusters. The cluster is like, let me tell you the one cluster type. So let me go to the second cluster. So the second cluster is related to the insurance. When you go, all the mails are related to the insurance related stuff. Okay. Let me open any other cluster. This cluster is related to the cancellation. So this is a cancel policy. This is a policy as lapsed and we need to be a cancel. This is kind of cancel policy. So what it is doing, it is doing the categorization, and it is able to create some kind of clusters, and it is dividing it. By default, communication mining will create 30 clusters for the data source. So this is one more mail. So this mail is related to the overview, some kind of complaint related stuff. This overviews will go to the complaint cluster only. Yeah. See, urgent overdue. So let me check any of the cluster. So here you can see different clusters related to the claim. So what the cluster is doing here is it is categorizing the data based on the input. So whichever the data we are getting it, it is reading the data. When you upload the data into the communication mining in the discover phase, based on the data, it's able to identify using NLP mechanisms, and it's creating the clusters for us. Okay. So once you got the clusters, what you can do that? So basically based on the cluster is a classification, cluster is a classification, right? So once you're able to do the classification, again, you have to read some kind of entities from it, right? So if you want to read the entities from it, what you have to do? You have to do some kind of labeling. Okay. So let me tell you how to do the labeling. So here I am going to create something. See here, you can able to see a couple of labelings already created. I'll create one more label. Insurance. Then in the insurance, it will be the inquiry. Okay. So this is the insurance is one label, and insurance inquiry is a kind of one label we have created. So these particular labels will be suitable for entire these particular clusters. Okay. So if you want to get a specific label, then what we have to do? So here we have to do it like this, like insurance. And this is a kind of question. So I gave one of the cluster labeling for it. So this particular free text having this particular label, I have given it. Okay. If you want to apply the label, so we can do the apply. See, so how the way it's working. So whichever the thing I have given it in a global, it's applied for all the cluster, all the items, whichever things I have given for the individual. So it taken by the individual mail. Okay. So that's related to the clusters, and in each mail having the details, like when you got the mail and these details you will get it here. Like whenever you get the mail, that's the particular timestamp, and when you have uploaded the data as a data source, and the count and the recipient count. So you'll get everything related to the mail, whichever the mail will get it from you. One minute. Yeah. So here we can able to explore something. So in the explore, what we are going to do, whichever the data we got it. So what we have to do, we have to apply the labels for it. So we can apply the labels and we can give the details to that. So here you can able to see which all are the labels got created and how it is able to do the identification for the each thing we can able to identify here. So when you are done with adding the data in your data source, and when you are done with the explore for it, so like when you are done with doing the labeling and when you are able to create the clusters for it, what we can do, we have to do the validation for it. So for the validation, so how we can see, so the validation will be in these four categories. We can able to see all the labels and underperforming labels and balance and coverage. So these four things will calculate our score in particular model, right? So here we can see a couple of recommendations also. So if your score is very low, then what we can do? So which are the things we have to do it? It will show. So here you can see a couple of recommendations what you have to do. So basically this communication is a no code platform. So based on this particular UI visualization, we have to follow and we have to train our model. So our model will be trained based on these categories. So wherever you are getting as an average your model, there we need to improve our model metrics. So this is the kind of recommendations we have it, and provide more variant trained example for the policy and query means they have not it's not enough to do the labeling for these particular category. So what we have to do, we need to add these category documents in the data source and we need to do the training for it. So that's the way we have a couple of recommendations for it. And we have discussed something about the taxonomy, right, in the data source when you are adding it. So what is taxonomy? Taxonomy is, sorry. Yeah, sorry. So the taxonomy is like whichever the labels you want to read it. Hello.
Roaster.
So taxonomy is a kind of thing, whichever the labels we are going to read it from the free text. Okay. So the free text is like whichever the mails we have it.
Hello.
Whichever the mails we have it, we are going to read that mails, and we can able to from that particular mails we can able to see that particular labels. Okay. So these all are the labels we are going to read it. Here we can see a couple of labels. So these labels will be represented in the taxonomy. So this is a claim. Inside the claim, we have confirmation, and the confirmation we have payment. So for the payment, we have 37, and live we have some kind of 12 invoice, 12 files we have done the labeling. So here is the details for it. So, and you can see here. So here you can see, able to see the red mark, right? Means we need more examples for this particular labels. So this is how we can do the validation for our model, and we have to do some kind of uh, model improvement for it. So, and this is the platform where we can get the reports also for our process. So from past 1 year, if you are going to do, if you are going to do the same process, like how many mails we got it in the form of claim, how many we have solved it based on the policy, how many we have done it reason for loss, urgent payment. This is the kind of visualization purpose we can able to see. So here see we have 31110 messages from past 1 year. So from in that we can see policy. Inside that policy we have renewal. Again, amendment, here we have address change, limits, cover, excess, insert name. So these different kinds of things we have it. So here we can see the highest messages we got it from the policy renewal and the reason for loss. So these are things will represent how many of messages we got it from which kind of category. So we can able to see it as a reports. See, so here you can see the count of it. So this is the September 2021. What's the value? So this is how it can be represent. You can use it for the future purpose, like how what are the data we are getting it for the past year. So this is called as a visualization report for our messages what we are processing using our communication mining. So here we can see it in the different charts. So it represented in the different charts. And this is the main thing. As of now, what we have done it, we have done uploading the data, then discovering the data, then exploring that particular data, whichever things we have done it. So once you have done the exploring, what kind of validation? So validation means if your model confidence is low, then what are the recommendations we can do it based on the recommendations, how to improve the model. We can see it in the validation tab. Once the validation is good, okay, we got it more than 80% or 90%, we are good to the model. Then what we are going to do, we have to see the reports. So the reports are like how we are getting the messages and what's the count of it, what kind of clusters we got it, what's the count of that particular clusters. We can able to see all these things. But what is the model? So we have applied multiple things on these particular models, right? We have done these all are the things to build something to use it in our UiPath Studio, right? You have done it something here. So how you can use it in your UiPath Studio? So that's where this picture comes. So this is a model. This is what we have created. So this model version is 5. Here changes we have implemented and how much duration we have done it. So this is the model we are going to use it. For this, we have a stream. So the stream is called as connection between the communication mining and our UiPath Studio. Okay. So how you can read if you are having 100 messages here. So how you are going to read these 100 messages in our UiPath Studio. Like if you want to read these 100 messages should be available in our orchestrator queue. So at that time, what we can do using our UiPath bots, we can read the data from the orchestrator queue. We can fetch each message, like each message means whichever the model converted messages, we can use it for the target applications, like whichever the data will get it. We can use that data. We can apply that data into the CRM application or ERP application. Some of the things we can do it, right? This is a kind of end data. So we have to read that end data to apply into the target application. So for that, we can use the stream. So how the streams will work here. So for each thing, what we have to do, we need to create one stream, and to convert this streamed data to the orchestrator views, we have UiPath components. So I am going to show that components in the next session as a practical. So that particular marketplace components, what it will do just for the minor configuration. So which communication you are going to connect it, and which project you are going to connect it, and which URL you are going to work it, and what's the API key of your orchestrator. Then we have to connect with the minor details. So when you are able to connect and when you are able to update, so what it will happen, whichever the model extracted and whichever the model uh, generated the messages with the format of after modelizing, so that particular messages will go into the queue. So what we can do, once we got the data into the queue, we can push the data into the queue to the target applications. So this is a high level of accessing the communication mining application. So let me show you one of the demo. So how that demo will work in the real time. So let me play that video. Just 1 minute. I'll stop share and I'll do it again so that you will get some idea about it.
There. Oh,
Yeah, let me share my screen. Here I can show you the demo. Let me play that demo video. It has like kind of 6 minutes of video. So here you can able to see the end-to-end flow, how it is going to work between the applications and how it is going to read the data and how it is applying the data into the target applications.
Organizations around the globe,
is
small and
this
big,
audio
share a
is
similar
clear?
challenge. They receive
Can
a
come and
massive amount
confirm.
of customer communications through channels such as email and chat that require quick and accurate responses. In this demo, we will be taking a look at a real customer scenario related to policy renewals at an insurance company. This process was completely manual before and took 3 days and spanned across multiple people in the business. With UiPath, the underwriters now have to process only exceptions, while the robots automate the process. They reduce the time to process each request from 3 days to 3 hours, improving organizational efficiency and, more importantly, improving customer experience. Now, let's see how UiPath are able to help customers achieve these results. As a business SME at a typical insurance company, I can see that Communications Mining has analyzed the historical data and extracted the intent and topic of the emails. I can understand what's driving the volumes and use this data to identify high volume and high impact processes to be automated in this mailbox. I can see a significant number of these processes are transactional by filtering for the email threads that have 2 emails or less. And I can see that the volume is being driven by policy related requests, and more specifically, policy renewal. Switching over to the trends view, I can filter to focus on policy renewal requests, and I can see that we have a constant inbound of renewal requests and a peak of at least once a month. By double-clicking on this data point, I can see the underlying messages that are driving these volumes. Here, I can see the predictions Communications Mining has made. Communications Mining understands these emails are related to renewals and extracts relevant information with high confidence. For the purpose of automation, it's important to have complete transparency of model performance. Communications Mining has detailed metrics and recommendations to improve the model. If I select renewals, we can tune how sensitive Communications Mining is to different concepts. And Communications Mining shows us how often we get the prediction right and how many emails will be left for manual processing. This label is performing well, so our client knew they could expect end-to-end automation for the vast majority of renewal requests they received. Now, let's watch the robot process several emails. The first email is a renewal request, and in the background, the robot extracts and validates the policy number and email address against the CRM, creates a renewal contract, and sends this contract to the customer. The robot has identified the next email as a quote and moves the email to the quote folder for the team to process. The next email is a renewal request. The robot goes through the same process as the initial renewal request that we saw, but the email address to the sender does not match the email in the CRM. So the robot has created a task for an underwriter to process. Let's take a look at that task. As an underwriter, I can immediately see that this is a request related to policy renewals. I can also see that Communications Mining extracted information like policy number and effective date. It seems that the robot has found the policy in the CRM, but the reason for an exception is an email ID mismatch. I can validate this information and have the robot generate and send the contract to the customer. Once the task is submitted, the robot creates the renewal contract and sends it via email. The robot moves to the next email, and this email is classified as a claim. The robot downloads the attachment and uses UiPath Document Understanding and Forms AI to extract the relevant information from the claim attachment. And now there is a task created for an underwriter to validate the extracted information from the document. Let's take a look at that task. In this task, we can see the claim document on the right-hand side and the fields extracted on the left-hand side. This user can go through the fields and validate that the fields were extracted correctly. And when they press submit, the robot will continue processing the email. The robot takes the human validated data and creates the claim in the CRM. Now the robot is done processing the 4 emails, and we can see that the emails were moved into their respective folders based on intent. Now, let's navigate to the CRM and see the renewals request that we created. As we refresh the page, we will see the 2 renewal requests that were created. Additionally, we can navigate to the claims page in the CRM to see the new claim that was created. You can see that the fields extracted from the document are added in the claim. Now that we've seen a robot process a few emails, I would like to show you how fast robots can run at scale. With serverless robots, UiPath can process millions of communications in no time. On screen, you're seeing 100 unread emails being processed by serverless robots in under a minute. Underwriters only have to deal with exceptions, and as a customer, I get my renewal policy almost immediately. Communications mining enables the automatic interpretation of communications, turning them into structured, actionable data at speed and scale. Mine, monitor, and automate every conversation to enhance efficiency, productivity, and the customer experience. Automate more and extend automation into whole new business areas with the latest in AI and automation from UiPath.
Yes, let me reshare my screen in a few seconds. Yes. So here we got an idea, right? So how the communication mining is working in the demo video, we have seen it action center, like when the confidence level is low, or even if you want to do any some kind of validation. So how you can do that and how you can send it to the target application. And why we need to use communication mining. So here I have one of this PPT slide for it. So I can say it is a kind of a low code platform. So we no need of building anything, and it's we can use AI related models, and we can do the different kinds of automations like attended and unattended automations. We can do it, and it's fully customizable, and some kind of real time monitoring also we can do it. We have seen it in the report of tab, right? So these many things we have it to do it, and we can integrate the different kinds of applications like end to end to get the source data and to apply the target data. So these many features we have it in the communication mining. So it's a kind of hot product, I can say, in UiPath products list. So after that, we can see how we can deploy it. So these are things we have seen it in the communication mining environment itself, like how to connect, like if you want to get some kind of data as a source data. So which are the applications we can connect it, and how the discover phase will work. So in the discover phase, how it can create the clusters. So based on the clusters, how we can create the labels and how to do the label for it. And the train, the confidence. So if the train is less, how you can do the recommendations. So then the predicting. So whenever we are done with the model creation, we can do some kind of predicting for it. So this is a kind of validate. So whichever the data we have it. So if that particular validation is less, validation means the performance of model is less. It can show some kind of recommendations also. Here is the 4 recommendation parameters: balance, underperforming labels, coverage, and all labels. So based on that particular labels, we have to see based on that particular parameters, we have to see, and we have to apply some kind of model improvement techniques for it. So this is how our communication mining will work. So any questions regarding this, our communication mining integration with the automate? So we can take it now. This is the use case example we have explained about it. Yeah. So let me go to the chart. How that particular mail will consider as a new or older mail. So this is a kind of integration we are doing it with the applications, right? When you are working with the Outlook integration, so whenever you read that particular mail, we'll mark that particular mail as a marked as read, right? So that's how we can able to identify it. So verbatim means here is a cluster or represent anything else. So verbatim means it's a message. Cluster means what kind of message is it? Like if you are sending one kind of home loan mail to someone, so what it will say that particular entire mail is a kind of verbatim. Then that particular type, that is a loan mail. So that's is called as a cluster. Yeah, communications mining is a kind of something it's related to the communication between the clients or the business or anything. So whichever the free messages will get it, we have to read that particular data and we have to respond that particular data for it. And related to the communication POCs, yes, I am going to implement one of the POC. It's almost done. So I am going to showcase that POC in the next session. So we are planning for this communication mining as a series. So for the next session, I'll showcase how to build it in the real time and how we can run it from our UiPath Studio. Yeah.
I would like to
I
just
think
join because
some of the questions is handled by Sudhir KVR. Thanks Sudhir for making your time on it. Yeah, please, someone is asking it.
yeah, so I would like to just give a big thanks to Sudhir for answering all the queries in the chat window, basically. Before you take up the queries, basically, like Sudhir has responded to every uh, one query what we had actually. Thanks a lot.
Nicholas, do you want to say anything about forum? So I think these are the slide. We have all the details related to our UiPath UiPath communications. Like if you want to go with the community action, we can able to download it from here. And if you want to learn something, like for every product, we have different kinds of learning courses available in the academy. So you can go to this particular website and we can do that certification, so that we'll get some kind of idea about each product. And here is the forum. So forum is a place where uh, uh, we can get some kind of doubts clearance. So if you are stuck somewhere in your path programming, or if you have some if you need some kind of clarification on anything, so you can post it in the forum. So there you can get answers by the different kind of people. And community events. So as Nicholas showed, we have different kinds of community chapters. So you please be join on that particular chapters. So based on that, you will get notified for the community events. And this is the channel link for the blogs, tutorials, and this is regarding some kind of MVPs, whichever the things we got it now. Yeah, I think we are good now. Bye.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Pradeep and Kiran, for the wonderful insights about communications mining. Yes, it's a very, very new topic and very niche topic. It will take some time to understand and practice. And as Pradeep said earlier, so it was in a preview edition, so it will not be available in the community edition. So you need to have a license to practice or upgrade on this. Until that, you can able to see the demos available from, yeah, I think it's not available in trial version. So just wait for the some time. And that's from the version side. And as Pradeep said, so please stay tuned for more updates. So it's a very new topic, and that's the reason we want to at least highlight on this a few points. So Kiran and Pradeep had wonderful things. And before we close the session, can everybody, if anybody is available on the camera, if you can on the, I have given the option. And even, yeah, and even if you want to show some feedback or how's the session, you can give a thumbs up symbol to Pradeep and Kiran. So we'll come up with the other topics very soon. And stay tuned for other engagements in in-person meetups we are planning in April month. So this March we completed, right? So April we are going to do the in-person meetup soon. So people, anybody is available on the camera, so you can on. And just 1 second, let me take until I take the picture. Can you please on the camera? So yeah, people are joining from different regions. So thank you so much for that. Yeah, and as earlier Rohit said, right, you want to be a part of your pet community as a speaker or a moderator or anything else, please do reach out to me, or please do reach out to Pradeep or Kiran from LinkedIn, so we can get you through. And please feel free to join the other chapters and other programs from UiPath community. And Kiran or Pradeep, you want to show the program which you are running? You are on mute.
Just few seconds, please. Let me open that particular forum challenge.
Yeah. So, Pradeep, Kiran, and Patrudu has been running a challenge over forum. So he will share and what is it, he will
Are you able to
explain.
see this particular screen?
And Kiran, can you post this link in the group?
So here we are running one of the challenge. So this challenge is contains five levels. So the first level is a kind of quiz, and remaining four is a kind of workflow design. We have to do it. So who all are good to do these particular challenges. So they'll get some kind of rewards from the UiPath community. So let me open that particular uh, link.
Yeah. So Kiran pasted the link. You can open that, register for that, and participate in the forum challenge. It will be easy, and it will be quite interesting, and have a chance to grab some of the goodies and things from UiPath community. Yeah.
Yeah. So here is the challenge. So we have one quiz and four challenges. So we are going to run it this challenge from today till April 3rd. So from that time we are going to provide five challenges in it. So top three winners will get $70 of UiPath swag, and remaining 7% will get the 40% of UiPath swag. So every day we are going to update the challenge. So this is the first day challenge. So the deadline will be till March 25th. Till we have the challenges April 3rd. Till April 3rd we have the challenges. Yeah.
Yeah. So the link is given in the chat window. If you are very new to forum, also no worries. Just register with your details and start. I mean, most of you might be a member of forum, but you will never know that there are many activities where you can participate Rewards and awards will be from UiPath community. So it's a goodies or swag or something like that. They will decide. So it's an official reward from the award from the rewards from the UiPath community. So they will only identify the winners and they will get it from the, and your name will be published in the forum itself. So no worries about that. I think we are good for now. So please try to join for our in-person meetups in very soon. Please stay tuned for more updates. And I request everybody to write a small LinkedIn post about the communication mining session given by Pradeep and Kiran. So yeah, Pradeep name is Pradeep Chinnala. So same name will be there in LinkedIn. And Sai Kiran name is Sai Kiran Pondreddy. And my name is Nikhilesh Tivarupu. So please write a small post that what you all learned today from the session, communication mining, and your understandings. And the next meetup will be in April. So dates are not tentatively but you will be notified in the community page which you are already joined. So once we publish any event directly, you will get a notification via email. So no worries about that. I think we are good for now. So thank you so much for joining the session and we'll meet in the next session. Thank you, Pradeep. Thank you, Kiran. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
Niklesh. Thanks everyone for joining
Yeah,
this session.
yeah. So thank you, Niklesh, Pradeep, and Sai.
Thank you.
Thank you for your information about
Thank you. Thank you.